What's up, guys? Today we're doing a Pitman Arm on a 2022 Chevy Silverado 2500, 3500. And the problem he was having was his steering wheel was constantly off center, either to the left or the right, a fair amount no matter what he did. So he brought it here for an alignment. The guys couldn't get the wheel straight. I looked at it, and there's a minuscule amount of Pitman Arm, and depending if you turn the steering wheel to the right and it's centered, it is off to the right. If you turn the steering wheel to the left and center it, then it's off to the left. So we're going to go ahead and replace the Pitman Arm. There's a little bit of play in it. First step we're going to do is take this cover off, and it's 4 15mm bolts. Alright, so we got the protector off, so now I can see up in there. So there's the box. Obviously we have to pull the box off to get the Pitman Arm off. And what it looks like to me is if I unbolt the sway bar and swing it down, I might be able to move this forward enough without unhooking a million other things. It looks like it has electronic power steering. It looks like I'll be able to move it forward without unhooking a million other things to be able to get that steering box off. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to unbolt the sway bar, 2 10mm. I'm going to leave the links hooked up and just swing this down, I hope. And then I'll see how much room that gives me for getting that box out. Okay, guys. Trying to show you the best I can under here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to separate that. It's a 24mm or 15/16. I wish I could show you all this, but I'm working on the ground because we don't have a lift here big enough to lift this heavy ass bitch up. So I'll be back here in a little bit. So basically, to break that loose, I used an air chisel right there. You see it's loose now. I know you guys don't all have air chisels, but you can use a pickle fork or whatever you need to. I think I'm going to break this one loose too, just so I can get this whole assembly dropped out and give me a lot more room. Okay, guys, I got the whole center link taken off. There we go. That's all out of the way. Up there's the box. There's the Pitman Arm nut I have to get off. So let's figure out what our next plan of attack is. All right, guys, so I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 3 power steering pump bolts off. I did not unhook the steering shaft yet. I'm going to take these off and see if I have enough movement, because I can't get to the steering shaft from up top. I can feel the nut if I go back here. I can feel the nut to unbolt the steering shaft. I don't think I'm going to have to unbolt it. I think I only have to get that out a couple inches. There should be enough slack in that sector shaft that I should be able to pull that out. So these 3 bolts that hold it on are 24. Now this one here, I'm going to put back in a thread or 2, just to keep that box from falling when I unbolt it. Alright, so I got those 3 bolts out. Yeah, that's definitely holding some weight there. So I'm just gonna push up on the steering box, take this bolt out, see how much I can get this pulled out. There's not a lot of room. Okay, guys, I am back under the vehicle looking up. I unlocked the steering wheel. There's the steering shaft bolt I have to get out. It's upside down right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just grabbing the Pitman Arm and basically turning the steering enough so I can get that bolt. Now you can see the head of the bolt. Okay guys, I got that steering shaft pulled out. It was a 11 millimeter. And I also unplugged that electrical connector right there just to help give me some more room. Now I'm going to try to get this to slide out enough that I can actually get that Pitman arm off. Alright guys, hopefully you can see what I'm trying to show you. I didn't have a socket for this nut. This is a 46 millimeter. I will put a link in the description for the socket you need off Amazon and the Pitman arm. I ended up using my air chisel, or you can use a hand chisel, and just hit the edge of this, loosen it up. And I never had much luck using Pitman arm pullers to actually pull these off, because they're normally on there very tight. So don't even fight with yourself. You should be able to see on camera right there. I put a slit with my cutoff wheel very carefully through there almost the whole entire way, and then once that slit was in there, I hit it a couple times with a chisel and it came right off with the puller. So that's the easiest way to do it. There was also 2 power steering lines I had to 1 bolt. I didn't show you on camera because I had a lot of stuff going on. I didn't have time to try to record it. They were both 18 millimeter. They were pretty easy. I know I said I was going to try to do this on the car. That was impossible. So I ended up just pulling the whole box, getting it out, cutting that Pitman arm off, and yeah, now I'm ready to put it back in, which should be exactly the same as removal, probably be a little easier. Again, the whole reason why the customer brought this in is he had an odd alignment issue where the steering wheel would be off a little bit one way, a little bit the other way. And then the way we discovered this problem is I had someone sit in the vehicle, shake the wheel back and forth when this was on the ground the whole way, and I just went around grabbing the joints until I felt, you couldn't see the play, but you could feel the play in this joint right here. And that's the whole reason why we're doing the Pitman arm. Okay guys, I wrestled the power steering box back in. I'll tell you right now, screw this truck. Screw everything about this truck. I hate this fucking truck. I'm doing it on the ground. The steering box fell and hit me in the side of the head at one point. It was an absolute nightmare pushing that back in. But anyway, it's back in, mostly. Here's the 3 24 millimeter bolts I'm going to snug up. I'm going to go through and tighten them up again real well after I'm finished here. Like I said, I'm a little fucking frustrated right now. And this is what makes me grumpy and old. By the way, when you tighten these up, make sure you don't pinch the power steering lines behind it. I did not do that. I have done that in the past. Alright, the Pitman arm's in. I put 2 new O-rings on the power steering line. Hardest part of the job was bench pressing everything up in. Other than that, it's easy. Take the skid plates off, unbolt the sway bar from the frame and swing it down. Take the 1 electrical connector off of the power steering box. It's an 11 millimeter bolt for the shaft. The power steering box is held on by 3 24 millimeters. And then both power steering lines are 18 millimeter. And they are a pain in the ass to get the power steering box out. But this thing's all finished up. I'll put links down in the description for the giant 46 goddamn millimeter socket you need. And yeah, like and subscribe. Thanks.